We are in the era of martial clones. Music legend T18, or on Amazon it's known as the Eifer T18. Looks exactly like a Marshall Emberton, right? But here's the twist. It's got the drivers of a JBL Charge 5 in there, a racetrack woofer, and a 0.75-inch tweeter. Wow, it's like Marshall Emberton JBL Charge 5 had made it out in a nuclear reactor and had a mutant baby. This is that mutant baby. We'll see if it does anything good. We're going to pair it with this, the Tozo, a Sowo. Wow, they're very similar in terms of names. Sowo Surgeboom 3, and then a Tozo PA1. That speaker right now is going for $30. This is going for like around 40. Both of these are Huaqiangbei King contenders. This one is currently the king. If this goes down to $25, this will be the king. So here's how, let's see how it compares. Before we start the comparison, I'll show you the two EQ modes. Speakers playing at approximately half volume. Alright, we're going to start from default. There's no LED on the EQ button, or there's a very dim blue, I don't know if you can see it, blue LED over here. I think it'll turn to another color on, another EQ mode, but you'll see what I'm talking about. They both sound like pretty similar. So let's get it. Yep, very treble heavy, and the bass does not play clean. Yeah, not looking too good. So we're going to compare it. We're going to first start with the Tozo PA1. The speaker, the music legend, is going to be playing at 50%, and then the Tozo is going to be matched with the music legend. Let's start from the music legend. Alright, we're going to now turn both to maximum. Let's start with the music legend. So, the music legend, well, you hear the problems. Uncontrolled bass, the treble is crazy peaky, especially it has the biggest peak at around 3 to 5 kilohertz, where the humans are the most sensitive to. And guess what? That's going to make it very sharp and very fatiguing. It's not as bad as the Bugatti that I used to have. I already gave it to someone else. But I'll tell you what, the treble in this thing is, also pretty bad. For about 40 or 50 minutes of listening, I get fatigued. It starts to ring. So yeah, so much treble. Don't really like it. Still, I will fulfill my promise. I'll compare with the current Huaqiangbei King, the Sowo Surgeboom 3. Alright, starting from the music legend again, around 50% volume. Yeah, let's go. I can't hear the kicks, the bass notes. Watch, so distorted.
Keep it working, baby. All night. What's working in my house? Got a feeling there's no doubt. 'Cause together is our time to snuggle up and be mine. Take me into heaven's paradise. Shut the blinds and turn down all the lights. Make a disco in our living room. Show me how you like it. Make the moves and keep it working. Keep it working, baby. Keep it working. Just keep it working, baby. Keep it working. Keep it working, baby. Keep it working. Just keep it working, baby. You like it deep. You like to work it like that, work it.
All right, max volume time. We're gonna start from the Eifer T18 or the Music Legend T18. Then we're gonna move on to the Sowo. I'm gonna crank them both up to maximum.
You like to work it, yeah. You like to work it, baby. Something's cooking my house. Smoke is burning, shake down. Smoke is burning, shake down. Fiber optic love in the dark. Hi-fi stereo is the spark. Take me into heaven's.
Yeah. Well, wow. I am surprised by how loud the Music Legend T18 is. And while being loud, it still has bass. Although not controlled, but there's still bass. The Sowo also retains quite a bit of bass at max volume. It's just not as loud. Yeah, all in all, I feel like the T18 is not a bad speaker in terms of design and everything, but I feel like the tuning they got to work on the tuning. I don't know if it's hardware issues, which I sincerely doubt. They put too much. That thing plays all the way down to 40 hertz. That's way too deep for a speaker that size. You're gonna get a lot of uncontrolled bass at that region. I think it should be cut off at around, I don't know, 50 or 55. And then again, the treble, that's kind of the primary issue. It's so much treble out of that thing. I don't get it. We're going to do a teardown. We're going to see what's in there. And I guess we could find out a little more on why it sounded like that. Why it sounded kind of bad. All right. The back panel. One single passive radiator over here. Looking inside, we got a woofer driver, two 18650s or what it seems, and an entire amp board. I'm hoping it's bi-amped. We'll find out. So, typical 3-chip config. We got some power management stuff. We got the amplifier chip. It is indeed bi-amped, by the way. And we also got our Bluetooth receiver chip. So this is an ATS2853. It has Kalimba DSP built in. And this is the ACME 8625, which also has DSP built in. We don't know which one they're using. This right here, NPCA 1108. That, as far as I remember, is also a DSP. That's very interesting. It is the Nuvoton DSP processor. I'm going to say this is probably in charge of doing the crossover. Whereas the tuning and everything like that are done through maybe different speakers. I don't know. This is quite confusing for me. It seemed as if that's all these chips has DSP built into it, which is very weird. Anyways, that just shows the point that they didn't really do a good job on this thing. It's horrible. Like, it's a mess, really. In terms of the sound quality and everything, with everything together. Do you see how boosted the treble is? That shows it all. See what I'm talking about? Whoa, huge peak. See, the peak is at 3 to 5K. That's crazy. And we also got huge audible distortion right over here. You can hear it. Yeah, it plays pretty deep, but no, it should have been cut off over here. This shouldn't play this extra 10 hertz of bass, because that's going to make it so distorted. It's got a tiny-ass passive radiator and a tiny enclosure. That does not look good at all. And yeah, this is overall a very ugly frequency curve. This is probably the crossover point somewhere around here, and it's just they didn't, it's probably poorly done. It's like I don't know. They probably used EQ to cross it over or something. I don't know. They didn't use like an actual filter, a built-in filter of the DSP. I don't understand what they're thinking with the tuning. It just sucks. Let's keep taking this apart. I'm going to show you the batteries. Definitely a 218-650 battery pack. A very typical one. A very Huaqiangbeic one. And our driver. Actually, I think these are a little better than the Sowo drivers. They have a bigger magnet. But yeah, definitely a regular Charge 5 driver. Nothing too special. Wow, look at that. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Anyways, there you have it. Let's do a quick summary of what we have here. First, let's talk about the sound. Yeah, I just can't recommend it because the sound is so crazy, so piercing. Like I said, the 3 to 5 kilohertz region is boosted. It's loud, and it's very fatiguing. And when we talk about bass, the bass is okay. It goes very deep, but the downside of that is it's quite distorted. You could actually audibly hear the distortion, especially when it's playing all the way down to the 40s and 50 hertz. It should have been cut off at 50. The speaker is way too small for 40 hertz bass. All right, let's talk about build quality then. So this is actually quite surprising. I'm very surprised by the build quality. We got nice drivers. We got nice circuit boards. The entire speaker itself is on par in terms of quality with the Marshall Imberton themselves. The outside look, if there's any rough edges that's going to scratch your hand up, none of that stuff. The circuit board's really nice too. Look at that. Wow, it's actually got a bi-amp system on there too. It's just, yeah, too bad the sound isn't as good as it is. And talking about that, we have to say a little thing or two about the engineering. Something is wrong with this board. Something they did was terribly wrong, especially the tuning. It's either the crossover frequency, the crossovering method, or just the tuning in general, or maybe they just don't. The acoustical engineer in the company loves treble. You never know, but in terms of engineering, I think the tuning just really has got to be better. There is potential in the speaker. The fact that there is response all the way down to 40 hertz, although distorted, shows that there is potential, but they didn't use it to its fullest extent. Other than that, we're talking about construction and repairability. Really nothing to pick about. It's very easy to take apart. There's not a lot of glues here and there. So yeah, in general, this is just a mediocre speaker. But if sound is your primary concern, which I believe is for most people, I don't think this is the one you want to go to, unfortunately. Well, so there you have it. That's a wrap for today's video.